Oh, I got to get a hat.
Here we go. We're live.
What up, peeps? We
What's
are live. I got to get a hat on, but it is December 3rd, Tuesday, 6:30. We are live from the Dob And Wayno Show. Been a while since we've got back into the swing of things, so hold on. I'll be right back in 2 shakes.
2 shakes. Shake it more than once and blame it. So,
Swampy.
swamp ass.
My white hat's overrun. The one I wanted to wear.
Oh my God.
Son of a bitch.
Kids probably got food all over.
Anyway, it's good to be back here at the helm. We're Wayno and I both sporting different shirts, but they both mean the same thing because one says Dallas sucks and the other just says Eagles football. There you go. I like the shirt. I've seen the decal. I've seen that decal before.
It's a beautiful sight, ain't it? People in that Dallas hat.
Get the Phillies pillow up here.
Phillies. Speaking of Phillies.
So anyway, what are you going to open with first here on the old?
So Ken Phillies, since you brought it up.
Yeah.
Got to talk about trading Bone to the Mariners.
Yeah, Bone would be the one that would be expandable as far as getting rid of somebody and trading. I mean, he's still a decent player, but I mean, if you can get somebody for him, I think the way I saw it, they're looking at that Alex Bregman from, is it Houston?
I haven't heard too much. I just saw that.
I mean,
ESPN.
If they get somebody, they'd like to get him. I'm not saying yet that I haven't seen anything about him pursuing him or anything, but Alex Bregman's name did come up. They haven't talked about pitchers yet that I know of that they're looking at, but a couple conversations are going. Will Hoffman sign with the Phillies, or will he go sign somewhere else? I think is he a free agent this year, or what do you call it?
He was in talks of being whether to sign with the Phillies or was he going to sign with someone else?
That's too dark. Makes my face so dark. The shadow on my forehead. You know.
Oh, speaking of dark, I'm going to be darker by the end of December, man. Going to Florida next week.
Wow. God, who's he got working for you? Hope it ain't me.
I'll never tell. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
He hasn't said that. Yeah. We leave on the 27th. We don't go down until after Christmas, but then I'm down there from the 27th. Don't come back to work till the 6th of January.
Nice.
So a good little stretch there.
They were going to we're flying out on the 13th at noon, around noon. So we get there around 3 o'clock or so.
Right.
We're going to meet my dad at the timeshare.
Right.
And go from there.
Sounds good. How long are you down there for, though?
5 days.
Okay.
Well, 5 working days.
Right.
I should say.
Sounds like a plan. So, Phillies, yeah, well, hopefully they will attack a few, pieces of real estate as far as people go, and get some different people on the roster because they need to make a couple moves. Ralphie, what's he saying? As
long as your eyes are closed, it's not gay.
Well, what was gay to begin with?
The fudge you talking about?
I don't know. Ralph, instead of texting so much, how about calling?
Joy leaves for Hawaii cruise.
Leave for the Hawaii cruise January 10th, returning the 28th. Damn, 18-day cruise or 17-day?
No, we know who has all the money.
Get out of cold weather. Well, have a good time. Nice. Don't buy any jewelry. Stay away from the jeweler. Anywho, Ralph, I don't know what Ralph's meaning. As long as your eyes aren't closed, it's not. I said makes my face look dark or something. I guess maybe that's what he was meaning. I don't know. We're a little slow.
If your face is dark, it means you're gay.
I said my hat makes my face. I don't know. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
You know, right?
I can take it off like this.
What the hell is he talking about?
Look normal. Or put it on like this.
I think he's gay.
What? I like that. Anyway, so we'll see what the Phillies do in the offseason.
I'd like to see him get some
A
pitching.
couple things let him down last year. Pitching number one at the end of the season. Not as much though as clutch hitting. We talk about this all the time, and everybody says, "Well, yeah, you got to hit. You got to hit when it's time to hit. Clutch hitting. You got to hit when people are on base." I've never seen a team. Of course, we don't watch all the other teams, so I shouldn't say this, but I've never seen a team as far as me and the Phillies watching them leave so many men on base during a game.
Wonder what that.
And that's not good. I mean, if you get one run every couple innings out of the guys you're leaving on base, you ought to be able to win the ball games.
Right.
Each time. So one every couple innings by the end of a 9-inning game, other than what you're going to do as far as home runs, whatever.
Oh, he's
You
talking about when you said shaking it twice.
Did I say shaking it twice?
Yeah, you were walking over there.
Oh, but geez, here I forgot all about that. All right, quit shaking it, Ralph. Anyway, so we'll see. Get a couple pieces in the field as well as the pitching, and that kind of covers us for Phillies. Haven't heard much anything right yet. It's still kind of early as
Yeah.
far as talks and stuff go. I know some of the teams are looking at players. I haven't heard yet. I really don't know if anybody else does. Ralph, whether the Yankees re-signed Juan Soto? As I know the talk came up of him leaving.
I think
to go somewhere, maybe if the money was right. But I'm not sure if I thought I saw that the Yankees were going to offer him a pretty good contract so that he wouldn't leave. So, but the Phillies, they had a great year to the end. Just couldn't pull it together. Couldn't finish. When you get to the playoffs, you got to be able to finish. You got to be able to pitch. Pitching and defense in football games wins football games. There was a defense win games. Yeah, offense is always there of some sort. Rarely that you don't score anything, but defense and not to get off of baseball, but we might as well because we're pretty much done that scenario with the Phillies right now. Defense wins football games, and the Eagles are a perfect example of that right now.
Yes, they are.
They're playing okay offensively to me. So we're jumping into the Eagles now, folks. Yes, they're 10-2, looking great. What a turnaround from the second or third week of the season? Forget really what we said that after the bye week.
Yeah.
They were terrible prior to that. Just couldn't
still starting off slow.
Yeah, a couple games there, but then after the bye, they came out. The defense is really what has showed up, and we're not allowing the big play anymore. We're allowing those little ones. We're figuring out the big play stuff. We're not allowing that big down the field pass or that across the middle 30-yard pass that we used to give up, or it's 3rd and 9, or even third. Let's say they got penalized and it's 3rd and 12. The team that's playing against it, and the Eagles would give it up and they'd get a first down. They're shutting them down on 3rd down a lot better than what they were. But yes, getting back to what you just said before I went off talking a little bit, they're not. I don't know why it takes so long to get started. What is with the first quarter? It's almost like it's. What's that, Joey?
Oh, Joey's trying.
Joey Data. Thoughts on Jalen Carter getting held at
all game and 0 holding calls were called.
Yeah, I saw. Well, like I said, even though I watched the game, I really didn't always see Carter, but I saw a couple blatant hooks. Hold or the guy would hook him like this, come around the arm and hook that arm, and nothing was being called. I don't know what to say. What are my thoughts? Officiating the NFL sucks.
Yeah,
that's my thoughts, Joey. And it's not just our game; it's a lot of games. But we're seeing our games because we watch, and it's terrible.
Raiders got. Raiders Kansas City game. Raiders got screwed on that.
Yeah,
false start.
Perfect example.
But it's officiating is just awful.
But the thing with the holding, now, all of a sudden now, Jalen Carter's having a good season and he's getting held more. Imagine what he would do if he wasn't getting held.
No.
So yeah, I don't like it, dude. I don't. It's wrong. It's not. I don't know why it's not being seen because we're seeing it. How come they can't see it? I always say that with different things, like a hold or a D-back tugging on a uniform or a shirt like that. We see it, it doesn't get called. How? I think it does get seen. They're just not calling all of it.
Right.
A lot of times I think it does get seen.
Which
I know sometimes some isn't.
we've mentioned it a couple times, man. Sometimes you just sit back and you think, is it really scripted? These games.
I know. I've said
I
that
hate
for a
saying
long
it
while.
because I don't want that.
Well, we both
to be the
said that.
case.
I've said that for a long while that the NFL all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, I don't know why I said all of a sudden, the NFL just seems scripted at times
Even more
when
so
we look
now
at it.
than anything. A lot's got to do with all the replays they show and all that, and it's just horrible.
And if anything's scripted, it's almost like KC.
Yeah,
Kansas City games are scripted more. Just like back in the day, we thought Dallas was doing that
yeah.
back years ago. And also when the Patriots were on a tear as far as winning Super Bowls and season after season
Yep.
after season, that their games were scripted. So there again, we both don't want to say that. I know. Refs need to go continuing education of some sort. Now it's the Chiefs. Yeah, it is the Chiefs. It really is the Chiefs. I don't, as good as Patrick Mahomes is, I am not a fan of him anyway. He whines about everything.
He does.
He reminds me of how not Prescott, but even some of the other Dallas quarterbacks used to always whine about every little thing that happened to them. He touched me, he bumped me, he looked at me, he held me.
Brady used to cry.
Brady was a crier too at times. Yes, he was. Just lights. Should have better lights in here. You gotta get back to the studio.
I know. Soon as the hellions.
I don't mind being here at my place, but we can't wait to get back to the man cave or the what was it called? Lip cave. Lip cave, which was named by Chris Shaw. But getting back to the Eagles too a little bit, we're not quite done, there. Defense is looking good. What can you say about Cooper DeJean and the other guy, the other D-back on the other side? Can't think of my name. I should know all these things and I don't. But they're both playing exceptionally well. Zach Baughn's playing out of his head,
Oh yeah,
which is good because I was glad somebody came in that linebacker position and just took over and is the man to be you know, like Trotter used to be, the old Trotter, not his son. So who I'm sure someday we'll see out there on the field more as a regular player. No, he hasn't. He's on special teams though, isn't he? Does he play special team? Yeah, I think so. So he just doesn't fit in the program right now. You got N'Kobe Dean's really changed. He stepped up. This was his second year now, so
Yeah.
N'Kobe's really looking different. He's really playing good. The line's playing well. Like I said, this whole defensive team, they all got it together.
Ringo's still playing good.
Ringo, and he's on special teams mostly, and then comes in on the nickel package. So, we were all down on Fangio a little bit in the beginning of the season, like, what is this guy doing? We're getting smoked every day. And all of a sudden, we said this, or you and I both said this, after the daggone bye week, what happened? It's like a light bulb went off in their head. Or a light went on and boom, they've played good ever since. Now, I don't want to jinx them, so I don't want to, I hope I'm not saying it that way.
Yeah, not this Sunday. I'm going to the game this Sunday.
So's my son.
Is he?
Yeah, him and their friends, the Biancos and whatever. Okay. They'll be sitting up. So if the field's like this, and here's the goalpost end, they're sitting up way up, but off a little bit on an angle of the goalpost, not behind it. Okay. So not here; they're more like on the left angle, facing.
Pull my ticket.
I'm pretty sure it would be if they where they were, they'd be facing where Xfinity would be on the outside of the stadium. They're on the other end, the other goalpost end. So yeah, it looks like they've got it together a little bit. Jalen can show a little. You and I are both a little hard on him, which is okay because I just think he's capable of doing a lot more than he does. But I wish he'd get a little more excited about playing. And when he goes over and sits down, puts the coat on, what is it? What is it we'd like to see in his hands?
The tablet. You know what? He don't even have to look at the.
It's funny.
If he just goes over and picks it up and holds it in his hands, I'll be happy.
I've never seen yet. I've seen one of the coaches come over and sit down next to him with a tablet and talk to him with it in hand instead of saying, "Here, let's go over a couple things." I don't know if he's one of them kind of people that just does that. Not everybody does it in the NFL, quarterback wise. I get it. I know that, but a lot of, if I had to pick a percent, I'd say 75 to 80% that I've seen of other teams, the quarterback takes that when he gets over, sits down. Whether it was a good series or a bad series, you need to be going over stuff and seeing who's where and what. He's still missing people open, dude. He's not that quarterback.
Yeah,
Well, I think you texted me during the game. I know Chris Ostrander texted me during the game and said what's his name? It was wide open, and he struggled looking for the primary receivers covered. I can't get this out of my head. I'd be the first one to say, listen, dude, if the plays for, we'll say AJ Brown, if he ain't open and you got two guys converting on you, I'm going to check down right away. Yeah. I'm not waiting for you to run around while you try to get long and get open, because if it's not happening within the first few seconds of the ball snapping, it's not going to happen. Either you get away from them and get open, or you're covered. Then you got to find the other guy that's over here.
And I don't think he does that, because that's why he eats a lot of balls all the time.
Because here's the thing. We'll say, well, why doesn't he just run? Well, I've said that before. He sometimes holds the ball too long because he wants to pass the ball. He doesn't really want to run if he doesn't have to. And I get it. Okay. But roll out and look for the other guy. The check down. Somebody's got to be open. That, especially when the running back, after he blocks, he goes out. 9 out of 10 times, the running back's not going to stay in and block the whole time. He usually blocks real quick and then rolls out. He's not seeing that.
No.
And we're never going to, I don't think we're ever going to see that from him. I really don't. Chris has said, go Cats. Well, where are you going? To the basement? What's the deal? Go where?
She's high.
She's a Cowboy fan. She's true to her losers. I mean Cowboys, I'm sorry. Well, we have a Cowboy fan in this family also.
Yeah.
So
Thomas. He ain't saying much this year.
Wayno sometimes. Yeah, see, a lot of them just don't want to talk like you and I do, even when we don't. Well, we've been good for a while, but we just haven't won the big one. What, 2017? That's been that long. 7 years. So, going on 8 years ago. But anyway, Eagles looking good. Hope they keep it up. They have the mentality, the right mentality. When you see the interviews of the guys, you see the press conferences, everybody's on board with this, and their mindset is, when you're done talking to them, we're not finished yet. We haven't accomplished anything yet, and that's the mentality you got to keep. You got to win each week to get to the playoffs. Then you haven't accomplished anything until you get to the Super Bowl. Then win it. So enough of the Eagles. Ralph, have you got anything to add about the Flyers? We're here. Flyers are looking pretty good. I told Wayno hadn't had a chance to really watch them, sit down and watch a hockey game, busy with doing other things. But Ralph and I have seen quite a few games. We always chat during the game each time they're on. Flyers are young, and yes, they're still committing, and I know Ralph will even back me up on this. Is that a call? No.
If anybody's heading to Salem, might want to take the back way. There's a bad accident in front of the Orient.
Yeah.
What is up with that intersection?
Yeah.
There, that's where what's her name was
killed. The girl that worked with us in GCA when GCA was with. So be careful. Don't go to, if you're going to Salem or that way right now, I wouldn't go Broadway if you know anybody is. Tell them to go back down Hook Road or something, because Wayno said it's a bad accident right in front of the Orient. So the Flyers, young, and I'll tell you, they make a lot of turnovers right now, and it's not just the young. I know I jumped on them a couple times, and Ralph said, "Well, that wasn't a young guy; it was Couturier did that, or that was one of the older guys, a couple of them, not older but veterans, in a sense." But they've got a little bit of a coaching, a goalie dilemma right now, and that's kind of a good thing because their number one goalie's out hurt right now. He will be back. But the number 2 and 3, I guess you'd call them, are battling for the number 2 spot, and they're both playing really well. So I hope we continue to see that, from the Flyers. They just got to keep it together. They got to play 60 minutes of hockey. It's, sometimes they come flying out the first period and the second. Right now, the second period seems to be their down period. They either start good or decent, have an off period in the second, and then kind of fire back in the third. And then even when they do play, if they tie it up or if they got a lead and the other team ties it up, they go into overtime. They've been really good on, watching a couple of these overtime games. They really get it together. The new guy, Mitchkoff, is really starting to gel with the guys on his line. So I look for good things out of the Flyers here, even this season, even if it isn't, a banner year, where they're way up there and into the playoffs good. It's going to be a good year. They're at 240. I forget where he said he was.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask him that.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. That's all. I can talk while you're doing what you're doing. But so, what's all these things? Ralph's sending me some things, so we'll have to look at them here a little bit. The Phillies continue to be linked to a blockbuster deal that would bring in Garrett Crochet. Like that. Why do you gotta have weird names? Crotchet. From the Chicago White Sox, something that would bolster their rotation for years to come with one of the rising stars in the sport. I didn't even know the guy, but the Chicago White Sox, I didn't pay much attention.
What's he
to that.
play?
He's a pitcher.
Okay.
There hasn't been much progress reported on the outfield and reliever search, though. Yeah, that's a start. I mean, I'm sure they're going to get different people. I hate group chat. So, but that's where we're at with the Flyers. Sixers, I don't have much to say. I don't have much to say about that.
But if you know anything about the Sixers, you want to talk about them? Call
If
in.
you want to talk about, too bad. What's his name? Brian Zamborski. Too bad he didn't. He's a Sixer. He's a big Sixer fan.
Oh, okay.
Too bad he never sees us. He probably chime in. They had high expectations. Not just to touch on this a little. Off season had high expectations for this team. Bringing in Paul George, Maxey with another year under his belt. Embiid was supposed to be healthy, and then it starts out he didn't play the beginning of the season. When he does play, he can't play back-to-back games. You got to. He's not going to play.
He's a douche. 40
games this year if he does 30 to 40 games. I'm over the whole Embiid thing. He's a good player when he's healthy, but there again, his league's all about being on the court.
I don't know why you don't just build your team around Max.
Well, you just hoped that Embiid was healthy. That's my thing.
But you've been having problems with him for
I know.
3 years.
I know. When he's out there, he's a force. He is. I'm not going to deny it. When he's healthy, but then boom, he goes down. It's a knee. It's this. It's that. Paul George now banged up a little. Started off. Maxey's going to be, good Lord, an old timer by the time these guys get ready to play. And that's exaggerating a little bit, but now the new guy. They have a new guy, a rookie. Begins with. I got the initial M on my mind, but he's a new. It's not McCain. Maybe it is. I think it's McCain, and he can shoot the lights out. But there again, if you don't have your center and your big men in the middle to do all the rebounding and keep everybody else out on deep, this guy can pop them from outside. He can shoot all around the perimeter, and he's good. They have a decent team. It's just that one position being Embiid controlling where he's not on the court, he is, and then George you bring in to complement him, and they're not playing together. And now you're looking at a 3-14 record, I think, or something like that right now at the time. You know how hard that is to come back when you're 11 games under 500, even though it's the beginning of the season. You got to win a lot of games, and what's everybody else doing? So you're putting yourself in the hole. It becomes really, really hard to get out of the hole that deep. They either start winning now, or this season's going to be. You're going to get to the halfway point. It's going to be squashed. So All right. Any questions that you want to bring up on your paper?
I got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Crazy weekend football period. You had what's his name? Isaiah. The dude from the Texans just got suspended for 3 games.
For the hit on
The hit on
Jaguars quarterback.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
do you think that was too harsh of a sentence, or do you think it's because last year he was fined twice.
because
This
of
year,
that.
before this hit, he's been fined 3 times this year for that.
He ought to be lucky it's only 3 games away, I'm thinking now.
Ralph.
Cal said.
We have Ralphie on the phone.
We have Ralph Parks calling in.
What's up, boss?
Ralph Parks is calling in, otherwise known to me as Cal Parks. Exactly, Lippy.
Big Mike's to pick up shit.
All right.
So I figured I'll give you a quick call while I'm on the road. Of course, the most illegal thing to do in Pennsylvania.
Well, if we're on speakerphone on your end, at least you're not holding it up and talking. You know that way.
Yeah, right. So football stuff.
Right.
They get very talked about, but I guess Thursday is this possibility of coming back for the Flyers.
Okay, right. I was gonna.
I think they say Harrison.
I've heard both. Yeah, I've heard both. Ralph Harrison and Erson. I've heard both.
Yes, I think Thursday is his return. All of our rookies look really good.
They do.
They do. I'm saying Brink. I love Bobby Brink. He's really good.
I like Brink too. I do. I feel the same way.
What's his name? Zamula?
Zamula, yeah.
Yeah, he's when he plays, he's going to play every game. But plays, he really puts a lot of effort in. I guess to try to prove that he belongs there.
I think. How about Cam York? Cam York's back playing now.
Yes, on defense.
Yeah.
I think that's where we struggle a lot. Is our defense. I think Cam York actually. I think he's good.
Right.
And I think he's going to.
And I think with Restalainen, he's back healthy and playing good. So
yeah. And unfortunately, we're really depending on Sanheim.
Yeah, true.
And don't get me wrong, he's been playing. He's been like standing on his head.
He has.
Here recently, and so it's just it's unfortunate because a lot of the goals. I mean, we're watching the Flyers,
right?
We're watching other games, other teams, and whatnot. So obviously, it just seems like we have a lot of problems not getting to the puck first.
Right.
We're getting beat to the puck way too much. I think we have a guy that's 20 feet ahead of the other team's player going after the puck, and yet it seems like the other player either gets to it first or gets to it at the same time.
Yeah, and we're giving up the puck in our own end again. We're making those passes, those trying to get it out of our end, and they doesn't, and then they pick it up. I've seen too many goals scored where they intercept it and take it back and score because we didn't clear.
Yeah.
So those are things that got to stop. That kind of little stuff just really has to stop.
Yeah. How many times do you hear the commentator going? Right, and just for any name, Sanheim to clear. Oh no, he doesn't make it. Oh, intercepted.
Yeah, exactly.
The hell.
And Couturier has been guilty of that a couple times that I know of.
Yes.
Where Couturier just didn't either get a hold of the puck right or get it cleared out. The other guy gets it and takes it down and scores. I'm like, oh, God.
He's either hot or not.
Yeah, he's either on or he's terrible.
Yeah, right.
I hate to say that. I'm with you. I hate to say it like that, but
Now,
yeah.
don't get me wrong. I mean, he's captain of the team, and
Right.
so he's a huge part in the locker room. I mean,
Yeah, he is. He is.
the locker room wins games.
Right. No.
Connect me. I actually just bought a sign by Connect Me this past weekend with the letter of authentication.
Okay.
So $50.
Cool.
I thought it'd be a decent price. So anyway, so he I mean, honestly, yeah, he's expected to play good, and he is. So it's really, yeah, I was very surprised with the whole goalie situation, like you said. It's a good thing.
It is, right.
Be surprised of Kolosov is what I pronounce his name. He was horrible, and Mike obviously horrible. His first six games or 5-6 games. I kept telling you, he needs to get back out of minors.
I remember.
Minors.
I remember it. I mean, and then all of a sudden, the battle between him and Fedotov, it's like they've changed night and day.
I think you're going to see Fedotov
be the number 2, which is the backup, right?
I think so.
That's cool, but still, then you got a third that's available if you needed it.
Clearly.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So,
and now that 20, I think he's 20.
and what's Fedotov? Do you know?
I think he's the same age, I think.
Early 20s. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's good. Again,
in mind, whoever does, they'll get a lot of playing time down there. I'm sure.
And a lot more experience. Yeah, exactly. Because their guys could be the starter down there.
Right, exactly.
So
all right. Well,
You remember we used to do that a couple of years when I first started at GCA. Ralph and I we would do our audios on our phones and I am live from the district office. Report. We did all kinds of.
You guys do.
Yeah, we did that stuff, and it would play, and we cracked up, dude.
All
right, Ralph. Thanks for calling, bub. All right, talk to you. Get that phone off there. I can't see.
Ralph Parks calling in, talking about his Flyers. I would chime in, but I don't know too much about the Flyers.
No, but that's okay. That's why he studies a little more. I pay attention to it. Adam, my son-in-law, is a good Flyer fan. But I don't know how much he watches this or whatever. In fact, I don't know if he's cornhole tonight or what they're doing. Anyway, good to hear about. Like I said, Flyers are young. They got some young players, some veterans on the team. Looking forward to this year. Not necessarily going to be a first place in the division type year, but they're going to learn a lot, going to grow a lot, and get better. And who knows if they could sneak in the playoffs? It would just be an experience for the young guys. That's all. If I don't look for them to do a whole lot. A lot of times you can't say that, but you don't know. So, but a good future ahead for them.
So how do you say that dude's name?
Aziz Al-Shire?
Yeah.
Al-Shire, probably. Shire.
He's the one to put that head on.
Aziz Al-Shire.
On Lawrence.
Yes.
And knocked him out.
Trevor Lawrence.
And he got it came down and he got suspended for 3 games.
3 games, right.
Now, I don't, at first, until obviously until I looked it up.
Right.
I thought it was like, man, 3 games for that? I mean, that happens all the time.
Yes.
But I think it's more of the history.
It's more of this is a recurring thing with him. It's not a first offense.
Because in 2023, he got in November. He got a face mask versus Tampa Bay. Fined 10 grand, 11 grand for that.
Right.
So that must have been one hell of a face mask. Get fined.
Must have hacked his head off and the helmet and everything for that.
And then in September of the same year, roughing the passer.
Okay.
He got fined 13.
And there again, that must have been a vicious hit too. So.
And then this year alone, September was fighting.
Right.
He got fined $12,000. Then there was a late hit versus Tennessee in November last month.
And this guy's
for another 11,000.
He's giving money
and then
away.
He put this hit on Trevor Lawrence and got 3 games.
And that was
he's a douche.
You know, watching the game, he was way late.
He
came in a heart and blasted him, and that. This guy, man, maybe this ain't the sport for him. I don't know. Over the last couple of years, he's had 4 incidents.
College was freaking crazy this weekend. All the fights.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that.
Did you see the Ohio Michigan?
Yes, that's the one I'm talking
about. Live out at Scooters.
Right. I mean,
when Thomas was doing karaoke out in.
Dude, I couldn't. That was crazy.
Now, my thing is, I didn't know this was a tradition thing that. When you beat a rivalry team like that, you go there and you stick your flag in the middle of the
field.
I didn't know that. Right. At the time.
And I knew that's what the skirmish was about when he did it.
And that's what it was. So, and at first I was like, well, I don't really blame Ohio. I don't want them to do that.
No, I wouldn't either.
I didn't know it was a tradition.
But
so, if you don't want them to do that on your home field, my thing is now is, well, good. I'm glad Michigan did because it's a tradition. That's what they were supposed to do.
Right.
And for Ohio State to react like that, then that was wrong. If that's what was tradition, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
But it was just a mess. And for the head coach not to do anything, he just stood there. He didn't do anything. And now, from what I heard, is none of the kids got suspended for it.
Right.
They both colleges got fined $100,000.
Oh wow!
And
I wonder where that money goes though.
Yeah, I don't know.
It goes. I think it goes into some kind of college funding for all the college things.
Back into the sports. So they got fined for that, and now they're saying, "Well, what can they do to resolve all that?" I was like, "Well, just." NCAA needs to come out and say, "Oh, well, you know what? Can't do it no more."
Yeah, you either got to make a ruling that you can't do it anymore. In a way, it's kind of harsh to put, whether it's tradition or not,
right?
To put that flag of yours, the winner, Michigan, in Ohio State's turf,
right?
I would have been fine with it. Just paraded around the field with it like this, go all around the field, whatever. But I guess that just set them off.
There was a couple of other games too that they were just doing that, parading.
Right. Just kind of.
The other team that got their ass whooped went out there and grabbed that flag, which was wrong, I think.
Right.
But
remember, Oklahoma Sooners used to have the flag on the.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
The Conestoga wagon.
What's the guy? What was the quarterback's name from there? Playing in the league now.
Baker Mayfield, right?
Yeah. He's the one that started that.
Right.
From what I was reading online.
Right.
So now everybody's saying it's his fault. I'm like, it's not his fault.
No.
I said it's the NCAA's fault for letting them do it in the first place.
Right. And like you said, either NCAA makes a rule and it's not anymore. If they don't, then this is going to continue.
Right.
This kind of stuff's going to continue. So
you know what? All right, let it still be a tradition. If they want it to be a tradition,
yes,
and they act like that, then you suspend the kids.
Then you suspend, right?
And
right,
Ohio State, if you don't want them to do it, and they make it a tradition, beat them. Then you don't have to worry about it. Beat them, but you can't, because when you play them, you suck. Yeah, right.
Ralph chiming in more. Is it? Yeah, this is fresh. Columbus plays Calgary tonight. I'm sure they will be doing something special for Johnny Hockey. Yes, they probably will, Ralph. I know they've already done a couple things for him, but you're right. First time they play together this season, and so that probably will be. You all remember Johnny Hockey got killed with his brother there in the bike accident, and what a tragedy! What a loss! to the world, period, as far as his personal family goes, as far as what a loss to the hockey world. But those two play each other tonight, Ralph said. So I'm sure when that's on, that game will have some special moments, things going on for Johnny. So yeah, it was when I heard that, when I got the news of that, I don't know if Ryan, I don't know who told me. It might have been Ryan, my son. Either got the text or whatever. I want to say that, yeah. And I couldn't believe it. Oh, you're in shock. You're like, what?
Yeah,
What?
you told me, and
Yeah.
Tammy texted me
Yeah,
like
I'm
right
pretty
before
sure it
you
was
told me.
Ryan. Yeah. And I'm like, him and his brother both hit by a vehicle. What the? Just the weirdest things happen in this world sometimes, dude. These things you never would think.
Yeah,
Never would guess that in a million years.
just riding the bike.
You just riding bike, him and his brother. So anyway,
Now
moving on to
we got it. We started doing it last year, and we haven't done it yet this year. Bonehead of the week. All right, my pick would be the head coach to the Bears.
did we do it last year? I forget.
We towards the end of the year.
That's why we didn't do it enough for me to remember.
So Bonehead, my pick for Bonehead of the week is got to be the head coach of the Bears, who is now fired
Because he
because
didn't
of the
kick the
Detroit.
field goal.
What? Yeah, he didn't
Yeah.
even call the timeout.
He didn't call. Yeah, and I watched that game, right?
I did too.
And I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, well, call timeout. You have a chance to do, and he let that go. And so, yeah, I have to go with you on that. But I don't think I have another bonehead that'll top that.
Matt Matt Everfluss.
Is that the coach?
Yeah, it's EBERFLUS.
Eberfluss?
Yeah.
So anyway, Eberfluss.
Maybe he got fired because his name sucks.
Maybe he got fired because the damn people couldn't pronounce it or spell it. Well,
but that would be my bonehead.
Yeah, if we have to do that, I have to. Now that you brought that up,
I got. I just remember that like today when I saw.
I'll have to remember that this week then, so I can check out and put somebody down of mine. Since I did not go with yours on that, that was pretty bonehead. Bonehead play of the week. Yeah, we did start doing that last year. But just a little something to kick around, be funny.
And
I know you got more questions on that paper, so let's get to it.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. What happened?
Does he need? Should he just freaking retire?
Here's my thing. Yeah. He's had his time. He came to this team with high expectations after a year before of an injury that happened in the first game, and he was out for the season. He healed. He got back on the field. They even brought in, what's his name that used to play with him? Wide receivers from the Raiders. Adams.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams. So you brought him in because they played together, and he was excited about being there, and I think what's his name was excited to have him, Rodgers, and then I don't know, but I think there's more issues to that team. And I know
just Rodgers.
Yeah, and I really don't think their O line's quite as good for an older man. When you're older,
yeah,
when you're an older quarterback, you need the O line to really be on their game. And you're a younger guy like the Chicago Bears and the Ravens and the Eagles that can move, and you are a runner. Your O line gives up a little bit, and sometimes you still get sacked, but you can get out quicker. And Rodgers can't do that anymore. He can't move. If he's wide open and whatever, he has the time. It's different, but I think those choices that he's trying to make on the field as far as throwing the ball because of the pressure is not the right choices for him, and he's making some bad ones.
So,
but do I think it? Yeah, I would kind of say it's time to step away unless he wants to try it one more year somewhere else. I don't know.
So if he wants to try it one more year after this, should he go to Minnesota? I mean, that's what Brett Favre did. He went from Green Bay to the Jets to Minnesota. That's the only thing Rodgers missing.
He's going to have to fight it over with Cousins, right? I mean, of course, he isn't doing. He's up and down too.
Yeah,
Cousins. He's another one. You had just talked about a player either being hot or cold. Well, no, Ralph did when that was with Couturier, either being on his game or off his game. That's how I feel Cousins is. He either lights it up or he throws an interception after interception. and he just stupid stuff. So I don't know. Rodgers to me, would be better off going to a warm climate and down,
Miami.
wherever. Well, he'd be back up there. He's not going to be a starter there. Texans, he's not going to start there because you got Stroud.
Stroud.
You got him. The Rams out in Warmville out there. You got what's his name? The ex-Detroit quarterback. We just don't know our players anymore.
I know.
We're struggling. But no,
Stratford.
Yeah. So he doesn't have a hope for that, but it would be nice because it'd be easier on the body a little bit when you're playing your home games. I know you got to still play away. You got to play, 8 games away or 9 games away as much as you do. But I don't know. I think it's time to get out of football for him. Just think it's time to call it, get in the booth. Everybody leaves. Every great guy that leaves football ends up in a booth somewhere. As long as you're a superstar, Brady ended up in the booth, Gronk in the booth, Edelman once in a while chats. Kelsey's been on different things in the booth, which I like when he's in the booth. I do.
Mhm.
Jason Kelsey brings a lot to the game. In fact, I really think there's a guy, in a few years that could be a coach.
Yeah, I think he'd be
Maybe
a
not
coach.
necessarily
I
start
think
out.
Dawkins could be a coach.
I really think Doc could. Maybe Kelsey wouldn't start out as a head coach, but start him out as like a defensive coordinator. I think he'd be okay. Now, even though he was a center, I think he knows more about the defenses coming at him. Could being an offensive coordinator, that's
An
offensively.
idea.
But I could see him being, either a linebacker coach. And you say, how do you do that? He wasn't a lineman, people. He was a center, which means he knew what the line across from him was doing as much as he knew what he was doing blocking. I wouldn't have him as like a line coach or anything. That kind of doesn't take away. I think Jason Kelsey could be a D coordinator or a linebacker coach in that sense, whatever. Just knowing defenses because you're reading them all the time. You're watching what guys do. So, but that'd be cool. Dawkins, and of course Deion Sanders. I think I'd like to see him come to the NFL. He's in the college right now at Colorado State.
There's talk that he might come from
Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the talk about that. Whether he does or not, but he could still go anywhere to me.
He said he's not interested.
Yeah, he did say that. He did say, and that could change over the years. I'm not saying he's going to come next year. He probably won't. Yeah, sure. But he does like working with the younger, the college age dudes.
Now, is his son?
Yes, son plays with him.
Is he going to be in the draft this year?
Darn it. I want to say he was or is, not was. Want to say either this year, if not this year, the following. If not, but yeah, Deion would be a good one. He's smart. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He knows how to play the game. He played both offensive and defense. He was a wide receiver when they wanted him to. He was a D-back when he needed to be. So he knows both. That makes you for a real good
Who else
coach
does
to me.
in the NFL today? Do you know any? I don't know any.
No, I don't think I have anybody off the top of my head, Bub.
We could Google it, but we're not going to. We're not going to Google.
Roger needs to give up the ghost. Agreed. Yeah.
We can answer that question next week.
What was some of the other stuff on message? She's texting so much. We got this thing in the way. Suspend him for the year with no pay. I mean, is that what we're talking about?
Talking about what's his name?
The guy that did the hit on Trevor. No, you can't. I mean, that's harsh enough to say
because they haven't suspended him at all before.
He's had so he's had multiple things and he's had multiple fines. Now he's losing 3 games and probably still fine too, right?
Now if he gets fined again, then you suspend him for a bit.
Yeah. 3 games is pretty harsh. It was a bad hit. I'm agree. I just don't know how that's you can't be too quick to just say, well, he's out for the rest of the year. And, I don't know. Maybe I'm just too lenient that way. And I saw something about a coach. The coach to me, coach for college. Rogers needs to give up the ghost. Coach for college. Who's coach for college? Is that? I don't know.
Mm,
We're lost here because we're just
yeah, I don't know
been
what
out of the
she
game
is,
too long.
but she should call in instead of.
I thought maybe she was saying the coach's fault. Yeah, the coach has.
Julie, why don't you call in 856-430-2483?
Yeah, we're slipping. We used to give that number out all the time. We used to have a banner, but we will get back to the banner eventually.
Put the banner out there.
Oh my! No banner in this place. you have the banner room. So yeah, where's Mom at tonight? Is she busy? Is she home?
She's home. I told her we're gonna be on.
Mom usually gives us a holler, but that's all right.
Yeah, Kim's had a doctor's appointment.
Kim's at the doctor's. I hope everything's all right, Kimmy. No, you're not watching, but you'll probably watch the replay.
So who is?
What other questions?
Now I had the question about the rookie, but we're not going to do that one yet.
Okay.
Who is the leading MVP in your mind right now? You got Josh Allen's in the run. You got
That's
Barkley's in the running. Lamar's in the running. I don't know if you.
Here's how I look at that. They all the thing with the MVP is a lot of times, most of the time, it always goes. It seems like to a quarterback.
Right.
Okay, over the years, let's put it that way. Saying that,
But I think it
Let's say
might
it
be
has.
different this year because
And those both now the two quarterbacks will say that are in the main running for MVP of the NFC, right? Because each league has gets a MVP, right? Or is it MVP of the NFL? I thought it was NFC. So you won't consider Holmes in the conversation or anything like Mahomes. But isn't it? You sure it's not NFC or is it AFC? Too. I mean, does each division have an?
nah, because when they were
MVP?
talking about it, they were talking about
Oh, you're right because what? I'm
that
bad.
might be my mom there.
Is that Joy's number?
Gary Shoemaker.
That's her. What up?
Hello, welcome to the Dob And Wayno Show.
Hey,
Yeah.
talking about college that putting the flag out.
Right.
He thinks he put kids under control and he should be.
Yeah, that flag thing though, like Wayno said, it's true. That's a tradition. He said that the winning team plant their flag on the other team's field as far as that goes. But I just think the NCAA needs to be a little tighter on the ruling for how that goes because it shouldn't get out of hand like that. And the coaches were out there trying, but that got to be a melee. That was terrible.
Yeah.
It's different when it's a handful pushing and shoving, like 5, 6, 7 guys.
It wasn't just Ohio State this weekend either. It was
there were other games
There's
in
other
the
games that
college
had the
league.
same
But
problem.
I agree. I think the coaches should be reprimanded in a way of some sort. I don't know how to go about saying, suspended for a game that they won't be on the sideline where the assistant coach would have to take over, maybe do that or something like that for the next game. But yeah, that's a bad scene. That wasn't good to see at all.
And
Well,
that
they
was
had one coach that they could control the team.
Yeah, well, that's easier said than done. My God, you control everybody. Good Lord, that's terrible. I mean, and there's multiple coaches, on the sideline for that team. So even then, I was watching the adults, which are the coaches, moving around. I was watching the kids. I was trying to pick out certain things, and it just there's so much going on. Then all the police are out there to get things in order. It was terrible. It was bad. That was just something that I didn't think was going to happen, regardless of the flag being planted where it was.
Yeah.
I thought of like, wait a second,
Yeah.
that's tradition. Then why are these kids reacting? If Ohio State won the game and they were in the Michigan stadium, they would have done that. So, why is it any different? But just a bad time. It was, didn't do any wonders for college football as far as officiating or not officiating, but I mean keeping organization right and everything on even keel. Tempers flaring and stuff like that. It looked bad. It was just not good. So yeah, that's why I say I did not when I saw the coach.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. One or the other, horrible.
Yeah, no, that's a bad one. That's definitely a bad one. Wayno said there were a couple more though this weekend in college. I didn't see the other.
Florida,
I didn't see the other incidents.
Florida and Florida State, they got no fight.
Yeah, Florida had one.
Okay. Yeah, the fighting stuff's it's getting. I mean, it's competitive enough to play hard nosed football, which is fine to play tough football, but to let emotions get the best of you where you got to burst into a fight for some reason is just not good.
Right.
That's not good for the sport. It's not good for people. Period. And kids don't need to see that. So I don't know.
Not at all.
Yeah. So it's a rough one. Rough one.
All right. Well, I just wanted to explain that little cut there that you got to think about.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm glad you called in. Yeah, and then Rodgers needs to give it up. I kind of agree. That's what I told Wayno. I really think his time has come and gone, and he needs to move on.
Last year.
Yeah. After going out the first game of the season, though, he wanted to come back healthy and see what he had left, and it's not happening. He's not on a great team to do that in a sense. Because, like I said, his O-line is not the greatest. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're not really that good. They're probably average. So he's running for his life a lot more. If he was on a team like the Eagles per se, and he had that O-line in front of him, his passes would be a lot different and a lot more completions than they are for what he has right now. It's just not,
Exactly.
But knowing that and seeing that, should he come back next year? No. To me, I think he should just say, "Hey, I'm going to retire after the season. I'm done." So.
Yep. Retire.
Yeah.
We should do what the other ratings things.
What's that?
Ask our callers who their bonehead pick of the week is.
Go ahead.
Hey, Joy.
Hey, what?
We're starting to do a bonehead of the week pick. We picked ours. We picked the head coach of the Bears. Who's your bonehead of the week?
Definitely. He believed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. I kept watching that game thinking, when are you going to call timeout? What are you doing? End of the game with timeouts left. You got to use them. What was he thinking?
That was
so.
Sweet timeout on it.
Yeah, when you're that close, you got to use the stuff. And that gives you the time to figure out what you're going to do. So, yeah, he got fired. You said, right? He was, and that's literally why they probably said you couldn't figure that out. We don't want you coaching this team, dude.
And it had to been that because they almost won that game.
Yeah, right. They were at verge of winning that game if they could have figured it out and got that field goal.
And the owners and everybody else.
Here in Pennsylvania, news that why doesn't he get paid all that million?
Yeah, who knows? Good Lord, we could have coached. We could have made that decision on the field. I would have said timeout, and now you guys figure it out. I'll just call the timeout.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame. He's out of job. So.
Well, he deserves to be out of job.
Yeah, it's his own fault. That's for darn sure.
Yeah.
His own fault. You got to know those kind of things. That's why you're a head coach. You got to know when to make your decisions, and you got to know when to use your timeouts. And he had them to use, and he didn't. So.
Well, that's all 101.
Yeah, that sure is. It sure is.
All right. Catch you later.
All right. Thanks for calling, Joy. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Is there a delay on her end? She always seems delayed. Talk to Ralph. He chatted right back and forth.
I think
it always seems like it's not a delay. It's just her not. I don't know. Maybe on her end it is. I don't know. All right.
But back to our MVP.
Thanks for the call, though. We did clear that up. And we'll move on now to
MVP of the NFL.
Oh yes, we were chatting on the MVP. So that's where I said the two quarterbacks have had from the beginning of the season have had a little bit of this, like up and down even, and then up. Now these obviously there's 11 games been played or 12 games already been played, so it depends on whether you had July. So I don't mean like up and down, up and down, up, but they've had peaks and valleys through the whole season, yet still played good. Don't get me wrong. Josh Allen's still probably the number one quarterback in the league overall. What's his name? Who's the other one?
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. Good. But in that game that we just played the Eagles, played a tough defense. It looked like he made some bad call and plays on his own there that he didn't. And I think you saw him on the sidelines even go, like this or clap his hands, shake his head. He wasn't happy. He's another one's he's looked good at times, but getting to Saquon Barkley, he's had nothing but from the start is like this, right up to where he's at. As far as he hasn't leveled off, he didn't have a bad game. He's just always progressed. So he's my number one candidate.
And I think
MVP.
so too.
And
this comes from guys.
And that's not being because he's an Eagle. Because if he was a Giant and he was doing this, I'd still say, wow, Saquon Barkley, dude, lighting it up. Because we wouldn't have anybody lighting it up.
Yep.
I mean, Jalen Hurts is not an MVP this year. He's playing good. He's playing good football. And he's not making errors and mistakes, and he's not, giving up the ball. But he's not at that MVP level. He's got a great team around him that makes him look good, I think.
Yeah.
It's not him making everybody else look good right now. It's everybody's making Jalen look good by doing their job.
Henry was in that mix too. They were the four.
Yes, and Derrick Henry, you got to give him credit because he's only like 90. Is he 90 yards behind or 70-some yards? 90 yards. Yeah, I forget what he is.
Because
77 yards behind Saquon Barkley.
Barkley's only 100 and some yards. Only needs 100 and some yards to break McCoy's record.
Yeah, LaShawn McCoy's team record.
Yeah,
for the season. For the season. A season record.
Plus, and if he does that,
plus he already owns the individual game record.
Then you guys start thinking about him maybe getting 2,000 yards.
This is the thought that if he averages, is it 100 yards a game? He gets the 2,000 yards the rest of the season. If he averages 121 a game, he can get the 2105. He can break 2105 by Eric Dickerson. Eric Dickerson holds that. I think Saquon stays healthy. He's got a shot at it.
He's got 1,499 yards right now.
And Derek, I think, has 1,409 or something. 1,409 or something like that. I forget. But the other talk is if we clinch early, we clinch the division here in the next couple games. Does Sirianni want to protect him and keep him out, keep him healthy? Yeah, you kind of do. So
it also depends on how far he is.
It does, because then they said,
I would think,
why would you want to take him out if you have a chance to secure the conference, which gives you the number one overall seed? And that's not going to happen just as soon as you clinch a playoff position. So there's a couple things that come into play with it.
And Henry has 1,407.
Okay. So 7 from 99 is 92 yards.
Yeah.
So Saquon's 92 yards ahead of Derrick Henry right now. So it's going to be a battle with them too. I mean, our schedule favors us except for one team, I think. Out of all the teams that I've seen, the only one that gives us a threat that's good against the run, and I looked this up, is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Their run defense will be the toughest threat we have. All the other teams, like the Panthers, run defenses are like 28th, 25, 29th, right on down the line. Everybody's run defense, but you get to Pittsburgh and it was like 4th, maybe? 4th or 5th or something like that as far as run. So that Pittsburgh game is going to be a test. But I always say when the test is like that, mix it up early with the small passing game. And I like the way they used AJ across the middle this week.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to get him always down the field for the big one, and I love to see him when he gets a big long one. But they were doing that middle behind the linebacker, right behind the linebackers, and boom, the guy's on him, but he's open. Jalen did put it in there, good pass, and you got like 20 yards a pop each time. Each time that was worth, it was really good. So you're going to have Pittsburgh's going to be a challenge. It's definitely going to be a challenge defensively. We have to contain their guys on offense. I think our D will be fine. Now that game, is that home or away?
What's that?
The Pittsburgh game. I know that's not. I know it's not. I mean, you can get it probably quicker than me. No, it's not right up in our talk wheelhouse, but that's the one I'm more concerned with. Not that I'm not concerned with every game, because hey, professional teams, you got to play. Even those Panthers this week, you can't take it lightly.
No.
You better go out there and get some points, and I'd like to see them get it early, because we know what we do in the second half. For some reason, we just turn it on. I want to get that first quarter, a couple scores, and a touchdown and maybe a field goal in the second, and go into the second or the halftime with a lead of some kind of.
Now, we'll say this. All the meaningful games, like this game against Panthers,
right,
mean something.
Yes.
Every meaningful game that I've been to, they've won.
Okay.
Now, I've been to Eagles games where they haven't won, but that was when we played Dallas, and that was the end of the season, and it didn't matter, and all that shit.
Right.
But, so.
We're supposed to be looking at the Pittsburgh game and not talking right now. You're a lot of chatting. That meaningful.
You want me to chat or you don't want me to chat? Make up my mind, will you?
You just have the equipment. I'll do the chat. No, I want you to chat because I want input from your side of it. It can't just be, well, it can't be all about me because it always has been in my life. It's all about me.
It's all about the Kiefer.
No.
Keith drives the truck.
Keith drives the truck at work, and that's when you drive the truck, you're in charge.
Not no more. You're the tissue handler out of now.
I know. I don't drive the truck, but I handle the district office. When I got border issues, come see me. We had a lockout flame failure in Valley Park. Come see me. I'll take care of it. Anyway, get them up and running. This cold weather, we need borders. We need heat.
All right. We got versus Steelers.
Need a little water. Oh, I'm supposed to take a pill.
Steelers is home.
That's good. That's good. I mean, not that that's a key. We have one on the road. We've really done good on the road, and I like that. I just feel like a big game. It's nicer to be home. It's just better to be home. It's just that the vibe, the energy. They're going to come in pumped up, though. I really feel like this is how good teams do. When a good team goes on the road, you got to pump it up just as much as the home team. And I felt we went to Baltimore really good.
We got one away game. That's against Washington.
All right. But like I said,
Dallas and Giants are at home.
Like I said before, I was rudely interrupted.
About time.
I think we went into Baltimore really pumped up good.
Yeah.
I did see a lot of energy, and that hit on Derrick Henry by Cooper DeJean. It was towards the end of the game, right? It was towards get ready to say it's a shame it didn't happen at the beginning of the game because I was gonna get ready to say that set the tone for the game, folks. But it kind of kept the tone that they were bringing every play. I let you know right there, you're not going to get this. You're not going to get a big gainer on us. You're not going to bust this open with Henry. We've got this, and they did. They just played smart football. I think the defense is just coming together. They're getting it now. Where before the break, they just looked lost out there, our D. And we were doing better things offensively, but we had no defense.
Yeah.
We still do have to score. We got to figure out a way to come out that first quarter when you get the ball and not just do a 3 and out. We have to. I don't like that at all because that means offensively you haven't found it yet because you're not clicking.
Yeah.
You got to click enough to go down the field, and I don't care if you get the touchdown, but kick the 3 points and get a field goal. But that means
he did that.
Did good. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And I think you're not going to see Sirianni be doing all these.
Now my question is
4 and 2s. 4th and 1, I can say push it, but when we went for a couple 4 and 2s, you know that, and even a longer one, and he went for it and we didn't get it. You can't do that now. That's not playing good football. Smart football.
Lamar is a great quarterback.
Lamar is. So Lamar's a great.
But we also faced one of the best kickers who didn't have a good day.
No, he didn't. It's something. And the guy.
So now my question is,
that guy bashed him on Instagram. That guy, I told that yells.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker is the worst. He really gave him a business.
So
But he is a good kicker overall.
Now, I asked Joey this, too. I'll tell you what he said. I
Right.
asked Joe, I said, Joe, we were talking about the game. I was like, you
Well,
do know that if Tucker makes those kicks,
Right.
we lose. Do you agree with that?
But when you make the outcome of the game if a kick's made, doesn't mean we would have done the exact same thing. We might have been different on our offense when we got it. So always look at it that way. Like, if that ball goes over the fence, we lose the game. But you don't know what the Phillies are going to come back and do
Right.
in the next inning.
And that's what.
Now, missing the points just pumps you up that when you do get the football, you're either going to score or control the football, control the game. Yes, missing them help, but if they made it, they'd have been up, is all I'm saying. They would have been
Right.
ahead.
And Joey.
Not won it, though.
Right.
I can't.
Joey said, Joey's answer was, he goes, whatever, he goes, no, that's not true.
Right.
And I just want to see what his opinion was. I don't think.
Right. No, I know what you're saying.
I think we still would have won.
Yes.
And like Joey
said,
he goes,
said that.
No, he says that just would have gave the Eagles more chance sooner to score.
I don't know why that. I mean, you miss it or you make it, you're still getting football.
No, he says gave us more points. Because if he would have made it, we would have got, we still would have gotten the ball back and gone down and scored.
Right.
Way.
Okay.
So it was what he was saying.
Yeah, I just feel that it's just different. The score looks different if they make those.
Yeah.
And the score would be different, not looks different. Just literally. But then the Eagles got to get the football and either go to, offensively, there were times where I thought we could have done more and scored, and we didn't. But we got to the point where the defense was controlling the game. After we got that 24 points, to me, it was over then. They weren't going to win the game. I don't care what they did. We just were ready defensively to take this team and not let them go down the field and score like we usually. That's why you and I talk about prevent defense. I talk about it with everybody, so not just you, but Chris Ostrander saying, I don't like prevent defense. I know there's a reason why you defensively have prevent defense, but only if you're really up. Like if we were up 31 to whatever it was, and even though they scored that time, prevent defense just allows you to kill time, let them come down the field, and then either kick a field goal or they score a touchdown, and you've given up 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But when the game's close, I felt like in the past, not even this year, I'm just saying past overall, the Eagles played too much to prevent defense instead of playing tighter, because I know you're playing prevent because you don't want them to get behind. You don't want to burn you. Well, if you're that good and your defense is good and you're playing man on man, you ought to be able to cover and not let them do that. Times it does happen, I know. But I don't like prevent. I feel like we've given up games where the other team's gone down and scored. We didn't win in the past because we played prevent and let them get ahead, score. And I'm talking about close games.
Right.
When games are really close. I don't like that. I don't like doing that. But that's the mentality of the coach, and that's how they do it. So I can't really, I'm not a coach. Maybe if I was on the field, I'd feel differently. But I hate seeing big chunk of yards given up for no reason. Just, let them score, let them throw the ball.
I want to plug a couple things right quick.
Let's plug.
We got All Day DJs will be at Scooters this Thursday.
Okay.
9 to 12:30 for their second night of karaoke out there.
Cool.
With DJ Juicy. I'll be at the Turnpike this Friday for Motown night from 7 to 1.
All Motown stuff.
You go to Delaware?
Yeah.
You ever been to Good Deals? It's like it's a thrift shop.
I don't think I have. No.
Well, for Small Business Saturday, we went out to a couple of places. Good Deals is ran by Laura and John Baker, my cousins.
Okay.
Laura Patterson is her last. Jimmy Patterson's sister.
Okay.
And they had some outstanding prices. They had a list of like 10% off, 20% off, and it goes down the list to where you might buy something for like $12 and it might end up being like $6. So you're already getting a deal with the prices, and then after they ring everything up, they take another 15% off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was pretty good.
So you got some pretty good stuff.
And they got nice stuff. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You know how you go to the thrift store and they got a lot of clothes and all that.
Right.
They got more
Miscellaneous stuff,
yeah,
other things than clothes.
it's a good
Now,
thing.
where's it located?
In Wilmington on Main Street. 537 Main Street.
So is that like
It's off
in town then, or no?
yeah.
Off of 95? How would you go?
141. You
Ah,
take the Newport exit.
okay. 141
It's up
Newport.
near Kirkwood Highway.
Okay. All right.
And then
Okay.
TNR Wicks. That's my
Yeah, you've said
cousin
that,
Trinity.
and I see that come up on Facebook a lot.
Yeah, she
TR Wicks. Yeah.
she makes her own candles.
Cool.
And
You
she
did
even
say
has
that.
the melts that you put in your melter thing.
Yeah, the
And
little.
she's even got
Yeah.
things that you buy now. It's got stuff in it to hang on your rearview mirror to make your car smell.
Oh, yeah.
Tammy bought one in. Oh my god, it smells good.
No,
And it's like it's made with non-toxic oils. And stuff.
okay.
So she does that. You can find her on Facebook, TNR Wicks Crafted Candles.
I have seen it on Facebook. TNR
We
Wicks.
have her pinned on one of our on the page.
On our
The Dob And Wayno page. And also we don't mention her a lot anymore, but Annette McGraw has Blessed Kitchen Bakery, so if you want any baked goods.
Yeah,
we've tried some lately, and we'll have it lately when we first started.
But, you know,
they
it's been a while.
pretty good.
I'd like to get back into taste testing a little bit here.
Yeah, I just talked to her the other day.
You'd have to get with her and see if we could get some,
especially
during the holiday now for Christmas cookies or some kind of pie or cake or something to see if she's got anything we'd like to
to test on the show.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't mind either.
Nice. Look, Phillies are falling.
That scared us. I thought somebody knocked it.
But yeah, that's what I have for local stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say how
was your Thanksgiving? We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, it was good. Thanksgiving was great. It's over at Ryan's. I think we had like 14 of us total. Something like that. We had a good time.
Yeah, we were at my sister's house.
Ate a lot of food. I took my potato salad over. Everybody brings a dish. Ryan provides the turkey and the stuffing and I forget a few other cranberry sauce and rolls, I think.
Speaking of cranberry sauce,
Everybody else brings some.
Fresh or canned?
Canned.
Yes, up top. Don't talk about
Fresh is not. Fresh is, that's the jellied kind. It looks like little, almost berry types, right?
Yeah.
It just looks like you spoon it.
And you don't even, you just.
I was raised on can.
Open the can and just throw it out there.
It plops out. My mom had an oval bowl.
Yes, my grandma had that.
Yeah. And she just cut the can, and then actually pre-cut it. My mom they'd slice the slice, and then it would fall like that. Then you just already took a slice.
Yeah.
You didn't cut your slice when you wanted it. She all had it pre-cut. Okay. I was raised on that stuff. All of our holidays that we ever had food like that, it was canned sauce. Yeah, cranberry. And I like it. I'm fine with it.
I like it.
I like it. It's not for everybody, but I do. I've always liked cranberry sauce. Yeah.
And I only got one more legal thing. And I got a couple other things, a couple political things here. So what do you think Kennedy, he's in charge, he's going to be in charge of the FDA thing or whatever, dealing with the food.
The health thing. Yeah.
He wants Coke
Food
to
Administration
use
or whatever it is.
cane sugar instead of high fructose syrup.
I agree with that.
I agree with
I would then agree with seriously. I think cane sugar is pure, better, no additives and whatever.
Anything's better than that.
Right. And the same as not having like the diet sodas has what's it called?
Oh God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Aspartame.
Yeah, aspartame.
Aspartame.
Aspartame and a few other pertain. There's a couple of them that have different ones. That's no good for you because it's a preservative, it's an additive, it's terrible. But if you just want to put sugar in it, you're way better going back to real sugar, people, if you're a soda drinker.
Right.
Just the way it is. You should never drink diet stuff
So like
period.
Sweet and Lows, that's
aspartame. All that crap is just get a sugar pack. If you want sugar, just have a couple pieces of sugar or a couple packets of it. It's way better for you, I would think.
Now you hear this a lot, that immigrants strengthen our country, right?
Right.
Well, if they, and I'm not putting it down, how do immigrants strengthen our country, but they can't strengthen their own country?
Yeah, I don't understand it. And why, what is the strengthening of our country? Because they come in and get low paying jobs and do industry and work in all that area and then make that go. But I don't know. But what are we doing that's Barkley MVP then Allen? Yeah, that's how I would have that
Yeah.
to go as far as the overall listing of who's first, second, third, or whatever. I could go Barkley, Allen. It depends on too where Derrick Henry continues.
Yeah.
If he continues to have a good year,
If he's a few yards behind Barkley at the end of the season, then
it's probably going to be rated Barkley,
Chiffon,
him,
yeah,
and then
Allen, and then Lamar.
And because the quarterback gets it so much, I really hope Saquon can stay healthy. That's the thing, man.
I wish they could figure something
That's
out to where it's always a quarterback. Same thing with the freaking Heisman Trophy. Always seems like it's a quarterback. Not all the time.
Now, back in the day, you remember back when, you were
because
younger
OJ was a
than me,
running
even
back.
it was running backs all the time. Archie Griffin won it twice. I think he's the only person to win it twice. Maybe, or it was the first
That's
person
a question
to ever win it twice. Archie Griffin for the Ohio State Bucks. And he was good too, man. I remember watching him in college.
So what were they gonna look up?
Who's won the Heisman Trophy 2 times in their college career?
And if you guys have any,
won it back to back.
If you guys have any questions that you want to ask, feel free to go on the webpage, on the Facebook page, and ask them. And either Keith will get on there and answer it.
Yeah, ask
I'll
the
answer
questions.
it.
I can, right.
And we'll bring them up on the show too. That you can. The show's not just ours; it's yours too. I mean, and the more you call in, the more questions you ask us, the better the show's going to be.
I can't say this is so weird.
What's that?
They're kissing them lips. They made up remote control lips. And when you put your tongue in it, the other guy that's coming through his, there's a thing that comes out like this and pokes his tongue. I know I've seen this a million times, but this one just cracked because after a while they start getting into it like they're making out with it.
Who has won the Heisman Trophy more than once?
Who has won the Heisman Trophy over the years more than one time? I thought it was just Archie Griffin. I don't know that anybody else has won it twice in their college career. Well, we can Google that.
What position? Well, this will give us something to talk about next week.
I don't want to know that name.
But we can find out. We just can't tell them.
I'll find out, but I won't say it.
They're going to Google it anyway.
I won't tell. Who won the Heisman Trophy more than once? Keith's right again, so I won't say anything. But anyway, something we're going to talk about next week. There is only one player in the history of college football that ever won it twice. We will leave that as a trivia question. I'm sure you can Google it, people that are listening, and look it up, but we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it this week.
Right.
We're getting ready to end this week. Got about 5 minutes.
And we got
to wind it up. But that's cool. That's one of the things. The other question can be how many, if you're on Heisman Trophy awards, how many quarterbacks or running backs have won the Heisman Trophy over the years? Or what different players positions have won the Heisman Trophy, which I know it's running back and I know it's quarterback, at least. I don't know if wide receivers. So that would be everything then. You want to see if a wide receiver.
So quarterback, running back, wide receiver.
And what's the most amount, which in our minds we kind of know it's going to be quarterback.
We'll throw tight end in there too. Probably 0 for me.
Right, but you could still throw him in there if there was one back in years ago that was good. I think it'll be more like the majority will be quarterback and then running back. I'm not sure, and wide receiver probably. I think just because the quarterback gets more notation because in college most of the quarterbacks run the ball and throw it.
Yeah.
They don't always come out into the pros and play and get to play, but Hurts was a runner, was a thrower and a runner, and so was Lamar. All these good. So was Baker Mayfield when he played for the Sooners, Oklahoma. These guys ran the ball and threw the ball. So they do two things where a running back's just running the football. He's got to get a ton of yards over his career, and he's got to score a lot of touchdowns to be even considered. Where there again, the quarterback can run a touchdown or throw one and throw for a ton of yards. So it kind of leans towards them guy. It leans towards them more than we think.
What was the stat when because Allen this past weekend he threw a receiving touchdown?
You see that? He was the only quarterback to run one, throw one, and catch one.
Yeah.
And the catch one was the little shift back to him.
Yeah.
After the guy turned and went here, and he caught it and ran around the corner, ran around the inside or the outside and got a touchdown. That was pretty. But he's the only one ever to do that. To run, throw.
The only one to do that.
Yeah, I thought it said the only one to run, throw, and catch one in a game. In one game, not in a season, I guess.
No, in one game.
In one game. In that game that he was playing. Yeah. He definitely is a special talent. Here's a guy that's not afraid to run into you, though, too, when he's running. He's not like Hurts will slide more and get down again. And if Hurts is stocky, but Allen's 6'6". And he is a force to be when he's coming at you. I know the linemen weigh a lot more, but this sucker's going to go for it when he goes. He don't care.
They were talking about that. Was it last year or the year before that? They're saying, man, he's got to learn how to slide because
you just don't want him to get his head taken off or get busted up. But when he's ready to go, he goes. Now, if it calls for the slide, he will, and it calls running out of bounds. Obviously, he does that. But when he's up the middle of the field, there ain't nowhere to go. It's rare you see him slide. Very rare. So, but he's a good quarterback. I can't believe talk about fantasy football. I can't believe how I fell off the face of the earth in this league. I went from a hot start to I'm 6-7 now. I lost again.
I can't believe I beat you. I thought I could have sworn I was going to lose.
That's what I'm saying. My guys are doing nothing. Literally, I probably won't make the playoffs. Looks like Joey's going to make it.
Yeah,
I need to win my last two. I think and him
Thomas is going to win the whole.
I don't know what's his name's still a good team.
Jermaine?
No. Whoever's in the first. Cooper, Cup. What's his name? Cup something. His team's called Cup. Him. He's got a good team. I
don't even remember.
Like I said, I had a good team. I didn't do anything different. The guys aren't producing that I've got now. But yet, in the beginning of the season, they were producing really good. So, yeah.
Well, it's like me. The guys that they do bad, and then I look at it, I'm like, right. Oh God, I lost my other leg too.
Lost my train of thought.
Thomas kicked my ass.
I mean, I'm not whining, but this doesn't mean anything to us if we don't play for this next year.
No, I know.
And I told Ralph, I said,
we already are.
If we can't get it to a money thing, everybody ought to be able to find a $20 bill that they can put out. And seriously, that's enough. It's a small amount, but otherwise, I feel like if I'm in that way in it more, that you're more excited about your wins and all. Now it's like, you know what? I was doing good now, so I don't want it to sound like I'm whining. Yeah, a little bit. I really don't know where my team went, but yeah, I think I need to win out just to have a chance to even make it. So I don't know. We shall see. Well, folks, that's just about it here. Coming up on what, 7:59? Can't see.
Yes, sir. 7:59.
7:59. We had a good show. First one back for a little while. Busy next week now. Next Tuesday, I got a concert to go to for my granddaughter. So
So we can do
but
that.
we're going to try to do either a Monday or Wednesday. Well, you said Wednesday, not good.
I'll tell you right now.
We'll say it now to those listening, but we'll also post it. We're not going to not have it for the week. We're going to do it, so it'll probably be. I'm thinking maybe Monday night. If nothing else is going on Monday nights. Wayno's checking right now on his. Excuse me.
Monday. We'll do it on the 9th.
All right, we'll do it on December 9th, Monday next week.
Yep.
Because Tuesday, like I said, I'll be at Central Park School for a choir concert for Adley. Addlebug singing. And that's the name of that tune.
And
so look for Monday. We can comment. What's cool about Monday night is you can get to comment a little bit about the Monday night football game that'll come up that night.
Yeah,
maybe we'll be done talking before it gets on, but we'll talk a little bit about teams and Monday night. I kind of like doing that. Tuesday night's okay and we didn't talk about the Monday night game last night. Not who was it? I don't even.
It was Denver and.
That sounds bad. Who was it? That was okay. Denver. And how did he do, Bo Nix? I have him as a backup quarterback on my thing. He does really good.
He does. He's been doing that. He's in the rookie.
I grabbed him. Yeah. Okay. Bo Nix for quarterback for Denver Broncos. Really.
Because I know what's his name for Washington.
Oh yeah, Hayden. Josh. Gaden, Maiden.
I got the Peckerwood name there.
Wackaдаden or something. I don't know.
But anyway, I know he's doing outstanding.
Always anyway.
But
everything's anyway.
Him and that what's his name is
Wackadilly.
Yeah.
What the heck? Everything's done.
Everything's done.
Where's it at?
We're out of here.
Broncos, beat the Browns 41-32.
Yeah.
It was tight. Let me see what old Nick, come on. Old Bo Nix did. 18 out of 35 for 294 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, though. Rushing, they had McLaughlin. How'd Cleveland Browns do? Winston. Look at Winston put up. Look at the numbers he put up. 34 for 58 for 497 yards, 4 TDs, but he had 3 interceptions. Can't do that, guys.
Kidding, man.
I'll say one thing. Hurts he hasn't been throwing interceptions. He don't throw but more than 100 and some yards for the game, but he doesn't throw the interceptions. I think he's really honing in on being a lot accurate, a lot better than he was.
Last question.
Last question, we're out.
Last question is
fire away.
Do you think we're going to have to look for a new offensive coordinator next year? Because he'll probably want to interview for the head coaching job with the Bears.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, if we, I don't want to jinx this, and I shouldn't say jinx because I really don't believe in jinxing, but I don't want to say it.
If we go as far as where we want them to go,
if we go, what happens if we win the Super Bowl? He's literally going to be. Everybody's going to be after him.
Yeah.
If we win the Super Bowl, even if we go and lose a close one again, or whatever, which we've done before to KC, I think you're right. I think Kelvin Moore is gone. It's a shame because I like him.
He's been a head coach before too, ain't he?
Was he head coach?
What's it?
Kelvin Moore?
Kellen Moore.
Kellen. Yeah, why do I always say Kelvin?
Hey, Siri.
Man, my elbow.
Was Kellen Moore ever a head coach in the NFL?
Meeting at the church Monday. I'll miss. Enjoy your concert. Thank you, dear. Yep. Good night to you. Yeah. Concert next Tuesday, show on Monday, but that's cool. We can watch the replay.
Yeah, you can always
watch the replay. Just to say it. I mean, we'll talk about things that you like to converse about, chat about. So, man, my elbow, I don't know what I didn't do anything to it. Feels like somebody whaled it with a bat.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hurt it when you don't do anything.
Hey, I'm blowing borders down like this. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got a lot to do, but anyway, yeah, that's a good question. I like that last question. Is who will be where? And I don't think I think Fangio stays put.
Yeah, I think
Defensive coordinator wise but when your offensive coordinator does really well in your team, look, we lost that one. What was his name? That skinny dude, and he moved on. Plus, we lost our defensive coordinator too.
Yeah.
So
that was that Super Bowl year.
yeah. So it's tough. It's tough, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right.
That's been good, folks. Thanks for checking in with us, Ralph, Joy.
See you Monday.
Anybody else? But we will see you next Monday at 6:30 live on YouTube.
Peace.